I do want to bring in at this point adjunct senior fellow at the Nonpartisan Foundation for Defense of Democracies, Peter Doran. Peter, I want to talk a little bit more about those specifics. Of course, there is so much at stake right now. So many lives have been lost. Communities have been devastated on both sides of this war. It looks as though both of these leaders do want peace. So walk us through some of those specifics and some of the concessions that it's going to take to get this done.
Well, the top line here is that the White House is very likely going to announce some good news. After this phone call, they're very likely going to announce that Putin has agreed to peace. Everyone celebrate. However, the devil will absolutely be in the details here. Putin has three goals for this call, and they are to stall the White House, to weaken the Western position, and to ultimately dominate this process. So when we look at what Putin's peace demands are, and we can go through them, but it's important to remember this is more about control than peace when viewed from the Russian side.
Yeah. Well, you know, the American public, everyone's watching this. We know a lot of our tax dollars have gone to this war. There's been a lot of destruction, and the president has been clear he can get a deal done. So I want to hear your thoughts on how likely do you think they will be able to announce a deal? Are you thinking 50-50? What's your thought on that?
Sure. So we have two parts to this problem. The first is the 30-day ceasefire. Now, that would simply stop the bullets from flying. And then the longer-term piece is the goal that President Trump has set for his administration, and that's that lasting and sustainable peace. When it comes to the ceasefire, the Russians will absolutely say, yes, we're open to a ceasefire. Now, here are our demands. And this is the problem. What they've put forward are things they know the Ukrainians will never agree to, such as preventing the Ukrainians from reconstituting their armed forces, preventing the United States from sending additional equipment to Ukraine. And also, the Russians have asked for cities and territory in Ukraine that Russia does not currently control. That should show us there are some poison pills that Vladimir Putin is inserting into this positive announcement I expect we'll get over the coming days and perhaps even weeks.
Very interesting. Well, we are getting some breaking news developing coming out of the White House right now as we speak. I want to get your thoughts on this. We are getting word from inside the room where that conversation is happening between President Trump and President Vladimir Putin that the call is going well. So that is the word we are getting out of the White House at this moment. Peter, if there are concessions made, how much back and forth do you expect? And I'm also wondering, how would a deal like this be enforced?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. So I am absolutely not surprised that the White House is very positive on how the call is going. That sounds about right to me. Going into this call, it was very obvious Vladimir Putin was going to congratulate Donald Trump on initiating the process and say up front, I'm willing to talk peace. I'm absolutely committed to perhaps even a ceasefire. Now, here are the details about that. So when it comes to how the administration responds to this, this will be the ultimate test for Donald Trump's deal making. Vladimir Putin is a skilled negotiator, so is Donald Trump, but any deal must ultimately be accepted by the Ukrainians or there's no deal at all. So that's going to be the challenge, but it's positive to hear and expected the White House is pleased with how their conversation is going so far.
Yeah. Well, you make a good point. This could be and probably is likely is the ultimate test when it comes to deal making. So we're going to continue to watch this closely. If anything breaks at any moment, we, of course, will let everyone know. Peter Doran, good to see you this morning.